morning, my friends. Welcome to the NeedleBugg. My name is Karen, and today I'm going to show you how I have been starting my threads. There are several of you that have asked, so I'm going to do a quick video on how I've been starting them. But first, I want to welcome everybody. For all the new subscribers, thank you so very much for subscribing to the channel. And I hope you continue to find things here that you like and will enjoy. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you ever so much for hanging out with me and coming back. So, when I did my Stitch With Me the other day, I told you about a new way that I was starting my thread. And to be perfectly honest, I really like it. Now, it will take a little bit of finagling to do it on, say, a Lugana or your Easy Grid. For that, you would definitely need a sharp needle because you would definitely have to pierce the fabric threads. But for Aida cloth, it's a dream. It is actually a dream. I have had no trouble with it coming undone. In fact, if you have to frog, it's a little bit difficult to get out. So that's a good thing. So let me show you how I've been doing that. And then I will also show you how I've been ending my threads. So I don't have to turn my work over at all. And it's going to keep your back tidier. I mean, if you're all about having the back be looking like almost like the front, this is the way you want to start your thread. So here's how it goes. I'm going to do my X in this square right here. Okay. So I am going to go down in the top right corner. Okay. I'm going to bring my needle up in the middle of the square. Okay, so I'm going to pierce these threads and get as close to the middle as I can. And that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm down in the top right. I'm coming up in the middle. I want to pull my thread through so that I have just the barest minimum tail. Okay. Now you have to be careful with this next step. Here's your thread that goes over to the next block. Okay. You don't want to go over to the next square, but you do want to go down in between, and you want to split this area, okay? And you want to pull that through, okay? So you've gone down at the top right, you've come up in the middle, you go back down on the side in the middle, and now you're going to come up to do the first leg of your X, which will be the bottom left. Okay. I can pull that pretty hard. It's not going to come out. So now I'm going to do the first half of my X and go back down up in the top right. That's going to get rid of that little itty bitty tail. And then I'm going to do my X and go merrily on my stitching way. Okay, I'm going to do a couple X's here, and then I'm going to show you how I end, but I'm going to do the whole process all over again. Okay, so let's do a row of X's, and as you notice, I cross all my X's individually as I go, I have done it that way for years. I think back in the day when I first started cross stitching, I would go across the row and come back, but geez, I haven't done that in forever. Unless, of course, there's a reason for me to do it, like to get where I want to be to start the next section that I'm going to stitch. Okay. Oh, look, I split that thread. Oh, hold on. There we go. I'm going to do this one, and let's do one more. And then I have been ending my threads on the front. Now, for this count fabric, and I think it's 14 count, you would use 2 strands of floss. However, I'm only using the one so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay? This start is not going to be noticeable. It's because you're going to, on this count fabric, you're going to use 2 strands. If you are using 1 strand, then you're obviously working on a count fabric that calls for 1 strand, and you're not going to see that either. So now to end the thread, what I've been doing is now I'm coming up in the middle of this side. Okay, so this area I'm splitting this and coming up in the middle. And it doesn't have to be the exact middle. I try to get it as close as I can, but it might not. And then what you want to do is, I usually put my hand, make sure my hand is underneath, and then I just slide my needle underneath a few stitches. And you can do this then one of 2 ways. I could pull it through just like that, pull it all the way through, and clip off the end. Or I could go, put it through, go back down to the back, and then come up maybe, well, I would go down to the back and find my needle and pull it through. And I usually just rub my hand over the stitches, and then I would come up someplace and cut this off. Okay. So that's how I end. So let me show you how you start. Ending is easy. You just go under a couple stitches, bring your thread up, clip it off. Starting, top right, center of the square. Okay. Pull that through so that you just have an itty bitty little tail. Center of the left side. Go back down. Come up. Wherever your first, however you stitch your first leg. If you stitch your first leg this way, then you want to do this opposite. Okay, so let's finish this for starting that your slant goes bottom left to upper right. Okay, now if you only have 1 stitch in that color and you need to end it, then I would just do like I did up to end the threads, I would come up in the center, go underneath the X, go back down, and pull it through. And then come up somewhere and cut it. Okay. My big scissors. I have the big scissors because we're going to do something else yet. Okay. If your first part goes bottom right to upper left, come up, go down in the top left. Come up in the center. Leave your little itty bitty tail. Go down in the center of the right side. Come up in your bottom right and do your X. Okay. So that's how I've been starting. And to be perfectly honest, I love it. I absolutely love it. So just to show you that it really does clean up your back from starting and ending threads. Let's flip this around. Okay. There you go. This was where I ended, but I wouldn't have had to do that. I could have certainly clipped it off on the front. Same here. Okay. So see how it does really clean up your back. Okay. So that is that part. If you have questions or need to know more about doing that, put a message in the comments and I'll be happy to answer anything that I can for you. So now the other thing that I was asked is about these. Okay, these are the packs that I made. Let me just zoom in. Oops, here we go. There we go. That I saw Stitching Masterpieces, and honestly, I cannot remember her first name, and I am so sorry. I apologize for that. But these are the packs that I made, similar to the ones that she made, to house my threads for the projects that I'm working on. Okay. Now, I did mine just a little bit different. I did put some felt on here, but I'm finding I'm not going to use that. What I'm going to do is like I did here. If I have extra, I'm going to put it through the hole, but I'm going to have it come out this way. Okay. Instead of trying to shove it back in here. So this is one style where I layered them, and then I folded all the bags to the back, so it's a nice compact piece. This one, I've just kind of put them together like a book, and I can just flip through this way and find the color. Each bag has the bag folded right behind it. okay? And I can just flip through it this way. I do like just the one hole. I'm undecided. I like the two holes because then the extra I can just loop it in the hole and have it out this way. If I lark's head them on, like I've done here, I can't do that. So I think I'm going to opt to stick with this style of punching the holes. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I made these. I'm just going to do one card for now. And then I will explain how I put them together. This is what I'm using for God Shed His Grace. And I only made them one-sided. No, it's a mess. It's driving me bazonkers. So we're going to put them on this other system, which so far I have really, really enjoyed. So what I did is I found these. Quirks and Stitches has them on, I believe it was Etsy. And they were I don't remember the price because I got them a while ago, but they really were not expensive at all. So this is what I'm going to use. And so that it has a little bit more sturdiness, I printed one per page. I'm just going to fold it in half. Okay. Then you have to punch your holes. Okay. Now, what I did, because I know that will fit in my bag. I have a bag of bags. When I was doing a lot of mailing things, I bought a bag of bags. I think there was 100 bags in here. So I have plenty of bags to make these. Okay, so I can tell that, or I can see that if I put my bag up against the printed area, if I trim this off just at these edges of the printed area, it will fit ever so nicely in my bag. So before I do anything, I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut, and yes, these are my paper scissors. They are not fabric scissors anymore, for reasons we will not go into. Now, if you want, you could tape these ends together, if that works for you. And then, actually, I'm also going to trim this off. Because, okay. So then what you want to do is just go down through and punch your holes. Now for the first one, go in as far as I could, and then you see my little tray here has a line across. Okay, so for the second one, I try and, oh no, that's not a line across. Do you know what that is? It's a staple. Okay, well, we're going to use that staple as a point of reference, and that's where we're going to punch the second hole. So I'm just going to go down the line and punch the holes. And yeah, it's a lot of hole punching. And do you get them absolutely perfect? No. Does that matter? No. So, I'm not going to bore you with punch, but you would punch the whole thing. Okay. Then what I did was I wrote my numbers on. So 159, 160, 169, 300, 301, and so forth. Okay. Now, the next thing I did was I actually, because I didn't like the way this flopped around so much, and I had no patience. So I actually just, oh, come on. I actually just stapled the ends closed. There we go. Okay, so now it won't flop around. Then you take your appropriate colors, and I'm only going to show you one because I obviously would have the rest of these holes to punch. And it's actually easier if you use a crochet hook, but you would put them through the holes. So one end goes through one hole. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame. The other end would go through the other hole. And then double check here. Then you could put them this way, or if you choose, you could put them this way. That would be upside down. Okay, I think I put them this way. No. Oh, good Lord. Okay. I had like this. And then your ends go back. Now, what I find worked is to kind of keep them in place so they don't just go willy-nilly. I took one of my scrap pieces of paper and I laid that, after I had everything on, let me adjust this a little bit here. There we go. Okay. After I had all my floss on, I took this piece of paper and kind of laid it over my threads to hold them down a little bit, which gave me the ability to still pull them out, but it also helped keep them in the right alignment. Okay. So after I had all my holes punched, after I had all my thread in, then I laid these on. After all of that was done, okay, we're just gonna pretend here that all the colors are on. I took my bag, I opened my bag, I put all my floss ends in here. And I just fit this in. And I actually put it up to the edges of the edges of the holes. I stapled it in place. You don't have to. And then, as I did the next one would go the next cut bag would, after it was all done, would go behind it like this, or to whatever spacing you wanted to use, and you would just stack them this way. When you have all your colors, then you just take your bags and you fold it all to the back. Take all the bags together, fold it to the back. So that's just a brief explanation of how I made these. So printed out my cards, or whatever you use. If you want to I printed them on cardstock. Okay. If you have another means to make this piece where you're going to punch your holes in and write your numbers on, go for it. But what you want is something that is going to be the same width as the opening of your bag, so that you can tuck this just inside, and then you can stack them like I did. Stack them like I did. Oh, there's a magnet. No wonder I put a magnet there to put my needle on. You can stack them as I did these. So you see there's one, here's the next one, the next, and the next. Okay, which gives me room to still be able to flip these up and see the numbers. Okay. If I run out of thread, I can replace it, and then I can just tuck it down in the bag. So it keeps your threads. I am finding it keeps my thread a lot neater. It's a lot easier to find the color that you want or that you need, because here you're just at a glance. Okay. You basically know what numbers are on each card, so it's very quick to find your color, which really saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time from flipping through a bobbin box, or flipping through envelopes, or floss away bags. It's all right here. It's in a bag. It doesn't get all ratted together. It stays clean. So I really like it. I like this way best. However, this way, where I just have them, I mean, I can take this clip off and show you, because I may just put them together the other way. I can take the clip off, and you can see that it's the same bag. What I did is I put my cards are in the bag. My thread is down in. I just took the bag and folded it again. Took some paper clips, clipped them on to hold it together. Okay, and then I folded it back to the wrong side. Oh, here we go. No, that's upside down. But anyway, then I just stacked them together this way. and made like a flip book. And there you have it. Hold that together with binder clips. So that is another option, but I think I will put them together like this. So that's how I made those. So just a quick refresh here. Take your cards, punch your holes, write your numbers, put your thread through the holes, thread to the back, down in the bag. I have found that by putting this, a strip of paper along the back, helps to hold the thread where it needs to stay. Put all of that in the bag. You want to secure it so the bag doesn't wrench around and come off. Again, what's the staple queen and use the staples. Just be careful that you don't catch your floss in the staples. And then stack your bags like so. When they're all stacked and everything's there, take all the bags and fold them to the back. Here, like this. See, they're all layered in here, and then they're all folded to the back. Okay, so there you have it. So my friends, it looks like I got some stuff to do today. Plus, we got to get the quota in on bread, because you know, we're closing in. Slowly but surely, we're closing in on that tentative finish. So I got to get stitches done on him today. I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you like starting with thread this way, because I certainly do. But again, it's not for everybody. If it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too, because everybody needs to find what works for them. I'm just offering different suggestions, and you can take and use whatever you want to take and use, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine. So with that, my friends, I will see you all later, and wow, we're coming on the weekend. Have a wonderful weekend, and see you next time.